Tarawa. The name alone still makes hardened men flinch. 11 square miles of sand, coral, and coconut palms, Japan had turned it into a fortress. 5,000 troops, bunkers of reinforced concrete, machine gun nests buried like scorpion holes. But it wasn't the artillery that broke the Marines. It wasn't the banzai charges or the knee-deep tide that drowned landing craft. It was the snipers, invisible, patient. The ghosts of the grove. Tiny Higgins boats buck against the swell, Marines hunched low, rifles clutched like talismans. The beach erupts in staccato bursts of fire. Bullets whip the water into froth. Bodies tumble backward, swallowed by the sea. Operation Galvanic. The 2nd Marine Division hits the beach at 0910 hours. High tide? A myth. The reef strands them 500 yards out. Men wade through chest-deep water, packs dragging them under, while Japanese gunners rake the shallows. By nightfall, 1,500 casualties. But dawn on D+1 brings the real nightmare. The snipers wake up. The relentless thwack-thwack of distant gunfire fades into an eerie silence. Boots slog through ankle-deep brine, the stink of cordite and rotting vegetation thicken the air. Palm fronds rustle overhead, not from wind, but from the faint tremor of hidden barrels shifting. Enter Private First Class Marcus Holland. 22 years old, 5'10", wiry as a fence post, with hands calloused from years of wrestling Kansas wheat. No silver spoon, no parade ground polish. Just a farm kid from Salina, drafted in 42 after his pa's heart gave out mid-harvest. Marcus wasn't built for this. He didn't enlist for glory or grudge. He shipped out because the draft board said so, and because the fields back home needed tending. But duty's a stubborn crop. It grows whether you plant it or not. Marcus's face, sweat-streaked, eyes scanning the tree line. His helmet tilts low, shadowing a jaw set like plowed earth. Golden Kansas sunlight, endless rows of amber grain swaying under a vast blue sky. Young Marcus, maybe 12, crouched in the dirt with a slingshot, not firing, just watching. Marcus Holland grew up chasing shadows, not the kind that haunt foxholes, but the feathered ones that plagued his family's farm every summer. Crows. Black devils, dive-bombing the wheat like stukas on a village. His father, Elias, a Civil War buff who'd read every page of Shelby Foote, taught him early. Guns waste lead. Brains save it. The air hums with cicadas. Elias Holland, broad-shouldered and sun-leathered, squats beside a scarecrow half-dressed in overalls, its burlap face stitched with a lopsided grin. Little Marcus watches, slingshot limp in his grip. Elias. See that, boy? Ain't the straw they hate, it's the foolin'. Crows got eyes sharper than a preacher's conscience, but they got tempers too, hot ones. You make 'em think it's alive, twitch a sleeve, rustle a hat, they'll burn their spite on nothing. Waste their dives, then you pick 'em off when they're mad and low. Marcus nods, solemn as a vow. Elias ruffles his hair, hands rough as sandpaper. Elias' world's full of hunters, son. Smart ones wait for the twitch, but the clever ones? They give 'em a ghost to chase. Marcus blinks the memory away as a crack splits the air. Not thunder, too sharp, too close. A Marine 10 yards ahead crumples, helmet spinning into the surf like a skipped stone. No scream. Just a gurgle, then silence. The squad freezes. Holland's heart hammers, a farm boy's pulse against the coral grind underfoot. Corporal Russo, hissing. Contact. Grove, 2 o'clock. Keep low, goddammit. Russo, 31, Brooklyn tough, face like a busted crate. Crawls forward, M1 Garand slung across his back. He's seen Bellowood in 18, came back with a limp and a purple heart. Now he's shepherding these green kids through Japan's meat grinder. His eyes dart. Nothing. No flash, no silhouette. Just the wind rattling palm trees like dice in a cup. The snipers of Tarawa weren't amateurs. Imperial Japanese Army marksmen, handpicked from the Imperial Guard. Trained in Manchuria's pines, Hokkaido's snowfields. Arasaka rifles 0 to 800 yards. Camouflage, coconut fronds woven into ghillie suits, positions dug months prior. Spider holes with periscopes, coconut log blinds elevated in the canopy. They didn't fire wild. They waited. Patient as malaria. One twitch, one helmet glint, and you'd hear the ping, bullet kissing steel, before the crack reached your ears. Marines inching forward on bellies, sand-caking lips. A hand rises to adjust a strap, ping crack, fingers splay in the dirt. Another tries to drag a buddy, crack, the rescuer slumps, eyes wide in surprise. The grove whispers, fronds shiver, unseen leaves crunch under invisible weight. By midday, the advance stalls. Red Beach, 2 becomes a charnel house. Bodies swell in the heat, flies buzzing like Morse code for the dead. Platoons that landed 200 strong are down to ghosts. Movement? Suicide. Stillness? A countdown to the next ping. Private Bennett, whispering to no one, voice cracking. They're everywhere. Like ticks in the grass. You can't see 'em, but you feel the itch. Bennett, 19, Alabama drawl, spectacles perpetually fogged, huddles beside Holland. He's the squad's reader, devours field manuals like dime novels. Spots details others miss. The faint curl of gun smoke, the unnatural sway of a branch. But today, even his eyes betray him. The psychological collapse sets in, slow as tide rot. It wasn't just the killing, it was the paralysis. Marines, bred on offense, stormed the beaches, fixed bayonets, now pinned like butterflies. Orders barked from rear command, flank left, suppress the nest. But how do you flank a phantom? Suppress wind. Entire companies dig in, rifles muzzle down, waiting for dusk that might never come. Men piss themselves rather than stand. One lieutenant, shell-shocked, shoots at shadows till his bolt locks dry. By D+2, the Corps reports 40% casualties from unobserved fire. Unobserved. The word hangs like humidity. Holland's squad, down to 7 from 14, huddles in a hasty scrape, coral shards biting knees. Russo paces the lip 3 inches at a time. Parker, the staff sergeant, 40, Ohio Steel, map always in hand, traces lines in the sand with a K-bar. Staff Sergeant Parker, voice steady but eyes hollow. Intel says 500 Japs left in the grove. Snipers account for half our KIA. We push at 600 or we're bait for the next wave. Carpenter, you got eyes on that pillbox? Private Carpenter, squad's marksman, lanky Texan with a scoped Springfield, peers through binoculars, breath fogging the lens. Private Carpenter. Nothing but green, Sarge. Like looking through a salad bowl. Holland sits cross-legged, ration tin balanced on knee, untouched. His mind wanders, not to home but to the farm. Crows don't kill blind, they watch, they pattern. Wing beat here, shadow there, then the stoop. Pa said give 'em a fool's errand, a twitch that ain't you. The thought itches, insistent as chiggers. 3 men gone in 48 hours. First, Doc Harlan, the medic who'd patched Marcus's boot cut in training. Raised his head to call for a corpsman, ping crack, skull blooming red. Second, Private Kowalski, pull from Chicago, cautious as a cat. Eased a canteen to his lips, crack, throat open like a second mouth. Third, Lance Corporal Hayes the Joker, whispering vaudeville bits to keep spirits up. Stood to light a lucky, ping chest cord clean. Each death a lesson, etched in Holland's quiet brain. They moved, they triggered it, like crows on the wire, patient but peckish for the glint. Russo snapped to the group, eyes up, jarheads, no chatter. These bastards are playing for keeps, but Holland's gaze drifts to his helmet, dented from a stray ricochet off the reef. What if? The idea bubbles, absurd, farm fresh. No officer manual for this, no parade for fools. But in the foxholes dim with the grove's breath hot on their necks, absurdity feels like air. Marcus Holland wasn't a tactician, no West Point shine, no dog-eared Clausewitz. He was a boy who'd spent summers outsmarting birds with string and straw. And in that moment, as the sun bled orange through the palms, Tarawa's snipers became crows in his eyes. Elite, yes, trained to ghost through bamboo, estimate windage like poets read verse, but bound by the same flaw. Instinct, the itch to strike at movement. What if you fed it something false? He doesn't voice it, not yet. The squad slumps into uneasy dark, wind-rattling fronds like laughter from the trees. Muzzle discipline tightens, no peeks, no prods, just the weight. Stars wheel overhead, indifferent. Dawn, D+3. The assault resumes piecemeal. A platoon surges 50 yards, loses 4. Another halts at the tree line, snipers tolling like bells. By 0800, the Corps is bleeding out. Admiral's offshore radio for retreat, but Holland's company presses, a blunt knife against coral. Russo's voice cracks over the radio. Pinned. Request smoke. Smoke comes, sulfur yellow, but the wind shreds it, revealing nothing but more death. In the hole, tension coils. Bennett fumbles a grenade pin, freezes. Carpenter dry fires his Springfield at phantoms. Parker folds his map, deliberate. We adapt or we die, he mutters. Holland nods, silent, his fingers trace the helmet's brim. Twitch it. Fool 'em. The moment breaks at 0930. A runner, fresh-faced kid from Easy Company, darts across open ground 30 yards off. Ping crack. He cartwheels, rifle arcing high. The squad flinches as one. Bennett! Christ, he was zigzagging. How? Soft, almost to himself. 'Cause he moved. Heads turn. Russo glares, but there's no bite, only exhaustion. Russo, what'd you say, farm boy? Holland swallows, throat dry as August stubble. Pa's voice echoes, give him a ghost. He picks up his helmet, straps dangling like limp veins, ties it to his rifle barrel with a bootlace scavenged from Hayes's pack. The squad watches, bemused. Parker, Holland? You losing it? Marcus, meeting eyes steady. Sarge, back home, crows strip a field bare. But you don't shoot back, you make decoys, something that looks alive. They waste shots on wind. These fellas, they're the same. Waiting for the lift. What if we lift something that ain't us? Silence. The wind hisses through the palms. Carpenter chuckles, low and brittle. Carpenter. A helmet on a stick? That's your big play, Kansas. But Russo leans in, skepticism cracking to curiosity. Bennett adjusts his specs, nodding faint. Russo, hell, beats dying bored. Do it. Holland rises to a crouch, rifle horizontal. The helmet bobs atop, straps fluttering like hair in a breeze. His pulse thuds. One twitch, and it's me they're drillin'. He counts. 1, 2, then thrusts the barrel up, slow as threshing. The grove holds its breath, amplified silence. Waves lap distant, a frond creaks, then ping. Metal rings clear like a struck bell. Crack echoes a heartbeat later. The helmet jerks, lace snapping but holds. Sand puffs where the round burrows harmlessly. Holland yanks it down, breath ragged. The squad erupts in whispers. Bennett, holy shit, flash! 11 o'clock, high branch. Bennett points, faint, acrid curl rising 200 yards off, betraying the nest. Carpenter got him. Carpenter's Springfield barks, once precise, a distant thump, body hitting fronds, silent as a dropped sack. One shot, one ping, one dead sniper. In a battle where Marines traded lives for inches, Marcus Holland had just bought a yard for free. The foxhole buzzes. Russo claps Holland's shoulder, grin feral. Russo's stupid as hell, but it worked. Holland slumps, helmet dented anew, mind reeling. Ghost chased, hunter low. But the grove stirs, other shadows shift wary now. A helmet rose above the foxhole, and for the first time the hunters hesitated. One ping doesn't end a war. It cracks the silence, sure, like a fault line in coral. But Tarawa's grove was built on deeper stone. Marcus Holland's helmet trick bought them a breath. A moment to taste salt air without lead. But the snipers? They were a network, not lone wolves, coordinated. Relaying positions via buried phone lines, adjusting for wind off the lagoon. One exposed perch meant the others tighten their weave. By 1,000 hours on D+3, the squad's buzz fades to grim calculus. How many ghosts left? How long till they learn? Holland rubs the fresh dent in his helmet, thumb tracing the furrow like a plow line. One down. But the flock's wiser now. The foxhole smells of sweat and cordite, the coral walls slick with humidity. Russo scans the tree line, Garand at low ready. All right, Kansas. Magic hat worked once. What's next? Rabbit from your ass? The squad chuckles, brittle as dry fronds, but there's an edge. Awakening stirs, slow as yeast in dough. Bennett sketches in the sand, a rough arc from their position to the flashpoint, arrowing a probable nest. Wind's quartering left, he mutters. Bullet dropped 2 inches. Shooter elevated, maybe 15 feet up. Carpenter nods, chambering around. Give me another bait, I'll paint the tree red. Parker folds his arms, Ohio pragmatism wrestling farm foolery. Scale it. We got spares, Hayes's, Kowalski's, tie 'em high, low, staggered, make 'em guess. His eyes meet Holland's, not skeptical now, but appraising. This kid sees patterns, like me with maps. Marcus. Patterns, yeah. Crows scatter after one miss, but they circle back. Test the ghost. If it twitches again, they commit. They scrounge, 4 helmets, bootlaces for strings, Garand barrels as poles. No brass bands, just quiet work, fingers fumbling in the heat. Russo takes point on the first lift, helmet swaying gentle, mimicking a careless scout. The grove waits, fronds still as held breath. Ping crack. Bullet glances off, sparks a glint. Bennett hisses. Flash, coconut blind 150 yards. Carpenter Springfield cracks back, thump, and a frond shivers, something heavy parting branches. No body falls. The sniper's webbed in but wounded, judging by the rustle. Carpenter, shh. Scratch one more. That's 2 for the scarecrow. Hope flickers, fragile as a match in mist. The squad rotates, Bennett lifts next, hands shaking but steadying on the upthrust. Ping, clean miss, sand sprays harmless, but the flash betrays low spider hole periscope glint. Parker calls it in, mortar tube from battalion chatters, 60mm rounds whispering overhead. Whump. Dirt erupts, screams muffled in Japanese. 3 down, the foxhole exhales. Russo slaps Holland's back. Farm boy's got a knack. What's the old man teach you next? Whistle for rain. Word spreads like dye in water. Runners carry the whisper. Helmet decoys, Kansas kids play. By noon, adjacent squads mimic. Crude at first, helmets on sticks wobbling like drunks. Pings multiply. Ping, ping, ping. A metallic chorus mocking the grove. Snipers respond, adaptive as tide. Fewer shots now, more deliberate. They hesitate at singles, wait for clusters. One platoon lifts 3 in sync. Crack, crack. 2 hits, 1 on a real head. The trick bites back. Holland watches from the scrape, tallying in his head. They're learning. Like crows marking the scarecrow, peck once, then wait for flesh. The emotional weight settles. Each ping a ghost of Hayes's laugh, Kowalski's mutter. He carries it quiet, the reluctant innovator's burden, no glory in graves filled. Afternoon bleeds to a boil. Company A pushes 100 yards, decoys fluttering like flags of foolery. Casualties dip, 5 KIA instead of 15. But the Japanese shift, repositioning audible now, faint scrapes in the underbrush. Elite patience phrase, orders crackle over intercepted radios, hold fire on silhouettes, confirm movement. Russo. Bastards are thinking. First time they ain't just reeling us in. Parker good. Thinking means mistakes. Holland, improvise. Make the ghosts dance. Marcus nods, mind-churning farm logic. Pause decoys weren't static. String 'em to twine in the breeze, sleeves flapping like arms. He scavenges, strips of poncho for hair, a bayonet-scraped branch for sway. Ties a cluster, it's lashed to a tripod of rifles, rigged to twitch on a pull cord from the hole. Bennett, eyes wide behind specs. Like marionettes. Psychological, man. They see motion, brain says target. The lift, cord yanked rhythmic, up down, the grove tenses. Ping, one helmet spins, lace fraying, flash, elevated nest, fronds parting. Carpenter fires, miss, windage off. But the second twitch draws fire, crack. Poncho shreds, decoy crumples. Another flash, closer, 50 yards, ground level. There. Periscope poke, Parker grabs the walkie, foxhole Baker to mortars, grid 452 adjust fire. Shells screaming, boom boom, coral sprays like shrapnel confetti. A whale cuts short, body dragged later, sniper. Arasaka clutched, eyes frozen in frustration. 4 confirmed. The squad's rhythm gels, awakening to weapon. Russo, once skeptic, now evangelist. Every ping's a map. They shoot, we mark, we kill. Bennett logs flashes in a blood-smeared notebook, elevations, deflections. Carpenter dials his scope like a safe cracker. Parker sketches doctrine on the fly. Decoy teams. 3-man, bait, spotter, shooter. By 1600, the coconut grove thins, not from flame but revelation. Snipers, once mathematical ghosts, kill ratios 5 to 1, positions math of angles and escape, now prey to the human glitch. Their training, wait eternal, strike once. But Holland's trick weaponized impatience. A helmet twitch, instinct overrides, fire, flash, death. Dusk falls sticky, lagoon mirroring firefly tracers. The squad hunkers, decoys slumped like slain. Losses, 1 wounded, grazing Bennett's arm, flesh furrow, no bone. He binds it himself, grinning. Worth it. Saw 3 nests today? Holland stares at the stars pricking through palm silhouettes. Pods say the field's half won when the birds tire, but grief lingers, the 3 gone, faces in every shadow. This ain't crows, this is men. Russo passes a canteen, water warm as blood. You saved our asses, kid. What's the trick called? Marcus, just ghosts in the wire. Night patrol. Carpenter and Holland creep 20 yards, decoy helmets dangling from branches like baited hooks. Wind rattles them, faint jangle, ping, distant, probing. No flash, sniper holding. But the rustle comes, reposition, hasty. Bennett, back at the hole, plots it, shifting east, pressured. Dawn D+4 breaks with purpose. Battalion briefs ripple. Adopt Holland method. Decoy priority. Smoke pots belch now, not for cover but to mask lifts. Platoons advance 200 yards, pings tolling like victory bells. Snipers crack, ping, but each betrays. Mortars, Garans, even Thompsons chatter back. Bodies tally, 8 snipers by noon, positions mapped like a chessboard post-mortem. The Japanese adapt harder, firing only at groups, ignoring isolates. Hesitation breeds errors. One holds too long, spots a real patrol, fires late, crack, misses, draws a barrage. Another, desperate, looses at a single twitch, flash caught, Springfield answers. 11 now. These boys are dropping like flies on a hot skillet. Parker to Holland, map extended. Your wire, son. Battalion wants it scaled, full company decoy synchronized. You lead the brief. Marcus balks, stomach nodding. Me? Lead? But Russo shoves him forward. Ain't rank, it's results. The foxhole nods, trust forged in pings. Afternoon escalates. Marines weave cloth dummies, rifle barrels poking heads. Lifts sink by whistle, tweet tweet. 6 decoys rising as one. Grove erupts, ping ping crack. Flashes bloom like fireflies in daylight. Spotters call, shooters fire, mortars pound. A nest crumbles, 2 snipers tangled in fronds, Arasaka's bent. The duel turns psychological, discipline versus deception. Snipers forged in patience's fire, months in blinds, breath held till lungs ache, now itch fingers on triggers. One crackles over radio, intercepted. Americans use dummies, confirm before fire. But confirmation costs time. A held shot means a lost kill. Desperation creeps, wilder fire, repositioning sloppy, exposing backs. By 1800, the squad counts 15 kills, half the Grove's elite. Casualties? 2. The advance surges, 300 yards gained, first bunkers in sight. Russo toasts with the last of his coffee, to the stupid trick. Holland smiles faint, but inside, not stupid, simple. The farm echoes, wheat rustling, crows wheeling confused, waste their strength on shadows. Night falls heavier, but the paralysis lifts. Sentries post with decoys vigilant, helmets glinting under stars. Bennett murmurs stats, snipers down 30%, we're ahead. Carpenter cleans his bolt, humming a tune. Parker radios up, method proven. Request materials, more laces, poles. The awakening spreads, not just squad, but company, battalion. Tarawa's tide turns on a farm boy's whim. They weren't fighting snipers anymore, they were dismantling a system. D+4 fades to a haze of cordite and coral dust, the lagoon's turquoise mocking the blood-streaked sand. Marcus Holland's decoys have carved a fragile corridor through the grove, 300 yards of advance, bunkers looming like rotten teeth at the tree line. But Tarawa's heart is a concrete beast. The Red Beach strongpoint, a warren of pillboxes and trenches, ringed by the last redoubt of Japan's elite. And in its shadow, him, the bunker sniper. Sergeant Hiroshi Tanaka, Imperial sniper prodigy, 28 confirmed kills in China, now Tarawa's reaper. 11 Marines his tally in 3 days, headshots through slits, bodies crumpling like discarded rags. His perch, an elevated log blind, Arasaka peering through a frond-veiled slot, 400 yards out. Patient, unseen, the system's crown. The squad digs in at the edge, foxholes shallow as graves. Russo wipes sweat from his brow, grin prop like a crutch. That bastard's laughing at us. 11? Christ, he's collecting dog tags for sport. Bennett, arm bandaged but notebook frantic, sketches the bunker's outline from memory. Slits at 10 and 2 o'clock, machine gun chatter masking pops. He's selective. Ignores decoys now, waits for the push, like he knows. Carpenter scopes the blind, breath held. Wind's fickle today. Gusts off the reef, dialed 7.2, but he'll adjust faster'n me. Parker paces, map creased to tatters, eyes on Holland. The tactician sees it. The kid's quiet calculus, farm patterns overlaying war's chaos. One man's twitch broke the web. Scale it, and the spider falls. Staff Sergeant Parker kneeling beside Marcus. Holland, that wire of yours, it's doctrine now. Battalions running it flank wide. But this one's different. Bunker's got eyes. We lift singles. He holds. Groups he picks the reel. Need a trap. Something that forces his hand. Marcus stares at the tree line, palms whispering secrets. Crows in a storm hunker till hunger bites. But bait a flock with 6 shadows. Timed wrong, they dive blind. The idea blooms, raw and risky, not scattershot but symphony. 6 decoys synchronized, rise in waves, mimic a patrol breach. Overload the instinct, make the ghost a chorus. Marcus, meeting Parker's gaze, steady but laced with doubt. Sarge, 6 helmets, not random. Staggered, like men advancing, 1 probes, 2 flank, 3 cover. Pull cords linked, timed by whistle. He can't ignore a breach. He'll twitch at the lead, and the spotters nail him. Parker nods slow, Ohio gears turning. Risky, exposes the team, but hell, 11 dead says we owe him a dance. He rallies the squad, voice cutting the humid hush. Russo grins, skeptic turns zealot. Bennett calculates chords, bootlaces daisy chain to a central reel. Carpenter zeroes his Springfield on a coconut husk, dialing for the gust. Give me the flash. I'll thread the needle. Scrounge time. Helmets from the fallen, Harlan's medic pouch still clipped, Kowalski's lucky shamrock scratched inside. Poles from splintered palms, poncho strips for sway. The trap assembles in the scrape, 6 rigs lashed tripod style, spaced 10 yards apart in a ragged line facing the bunker. Cords snake back, hidden in grass. Holland tests the pull, twitch, helmets bobbing like hesitant heads. Russo, testing his station, hands steady now. Feels like puppeting corpses. Appropriate. Bennett, fiddling reel spec slipping. Psychology 101. Overchoice paralysis. They train for singles, not swarms. He'll default to threat. The sun dips, painting the lagoon crimson. Battalion holds fire. No prelim barrage, lest it spook the ghost. Parker's plan. At 1700, the 6-helmet breach. Flank squads faint left with smokes, draw the machine guns. Center, the trap. Spotters, Bennett and 2 from Alpha, prone with binos. Carpenter elevated on a stump, bipod down. Holland on the reel, heart thudding like a thresher. One slip and it's flesh they kiss. Parker over the wire to company net. All stations, Holland trap live. Sync on my mark. Godspeed. Dusk thickens, fronds blackening. The bunker hums, low growl of Nambus, sporadic pops from lesser nests. Smoke splume left, sulfur veils drifting. A faint patrol lifts rifles, ping-ping, drawing fire, but the bunker stays mute. Tanaka watches, breath fogged on his scope. Americans learn slow. Wait for the reel. Parker's whistle pierces, tweet. Holland yanks the first cord. Lead helmet rises, slow, straps fluttering like a scout's wave. Pause. Tweet, tweet. Second and third ascend, flankers bobbing offset. The grove tenses, wind rattling like dice, silence. Then, ping crack. Lead helmet spins, lace shreds but holds. Flash blooms, bunker slot, muzzle bloom faint through fronds. Bennett, hey. Contact. Slot 2 o'clock, elevation static. Carpenter's world narrows. Crosshairs dance on the glint. Gust shears, hold, his finger curls. Crack. The Springfield's roar deafens. Return fire spatters, ping on his stump, but the bunker shudders, a groan echoing from concrete. No body. But the slot darkens, sniper down or ducked. The trap holds, tweet, tweet, tweet. 4th, 5th, 6th helmets lift. Cover fire faint, swaying aggressive. Ponchos whip, mimicking reloads. Tanaka, wounded, dead, his backup stirs. Or is it him, bleeding but bayed? Ping, crack, ping. Second shot clips a flanker, third grazes cover, flashes confirm, same slot, desperate. Hands shake on the reel, Holland slick with sweat, cords biting palms. He's choosing, like picking wheat from chaff. The 6th helmet jerks, direct hit crumples but the betrayal's complete. Angle exposed, wind betrayed. He's low now, crouched, got the drop. Parker's voice cracks the net, spotters confirm, mortars on standby. Bennett's binos tremble, movement, dragon, slot clearing. The squad holds, decoys frozen mid-dance. Seconds stretch, eternal as a held breath. Then, thump. Not a shot. A body slumps from the blind's rear, webbing tangled, Arasaka clattering down. Tanaka, face pale as rice, entry wound precise through the throat. 11 kills ended by a farm boy's chorus. The foxhole erupts, quiet whoops, Russo pumping fist. Carpenter slumps, bolt smoking. Threaded it. For haze. The 6-helmet trap didn't just kill a man, it shattered the bunker's spine. With Tanaka down, the pillbox faltered. Machine guns unmanned, slits blind. Marines surged, grenades arcing like scythes, Thompsons chattering through breaches. By nightfall, Red Beach falls, 200 yards in an hour, casualties halved. The grove, once an abattoir, yields to flamethrowers and bayonets. Snipers scatter, their system, patience, camouflage, coordination, unraveled by deception's thread. Word rockets upchain, brass from Major Crow's CP to Admiral Turner's flagship. Decoy innovation, Private Holland, 1st Platoon. Casualty reduction, 67% in sector. Parker pens the after-action. Synchronized helmet decoys force enemy reaction, reveal positions, recommend integration. By D+5, Tarawa's mop-up incorporates it. Divisions rigging ghost patrols, helmets on bamboo, cords to corporals. Snipers drop like overripe fruit. 42 confirmed in 48 hours, positions logged for the Corps' annals. Holland sits apart, cleaning his M1, hands still quivering. 11 ghosts, traded for pings. Grief and grim satisfaction war. Russo lost a cousin to Tanaka's slit, toasts with canteen water. You broke him, kid. Broke the whole damn riddle. Bennett tallies. Kill ratio flipped, we're hunting now. Carpenter shares smokes, rare generosity. Your trap, my shot. Owe you a beer in Frisco. But Marcus waves it off, eyes on the stars. Pods say the field's clear when the last crow flies. Doctrine shifts ripple, training films sketched, foxhole improvisation, decoy tactics. Manuals amended mid-war, pages typed on atolls. Enemy snipers react to movement, exploit with non-personnel targets. The Pacific learns. Saipan, Tinian, Iwo. Helmets on sticks become standard, saving tallies in the thousands. A farm trick, scaled to legions. Parker claps his shoulder at reveal. Corps owes you, son. No medal yet. War's funny that way. But you changed it. Holland nods, silent. Changed? Or just survived? The bunker smolders, smoke curling like defeated breath. Tarawa's tide ebbs, 3,000 Japanese dead, Marines holding the line at 1,000 lost. Victory, Pyrrhic but pivoted on wire and whim. Dawn D+6, the island quiets, flags rising over coral. Squads rotate out, decoys stacked like trophies. Russo mutters plans. After this, Brooklyn stoop, no more ghosts. Bennett buries his notebook with the dead. Carpenter scopes the horizon, empty now. Holland lingers, tracing a helmet dent. Simple, stupid, saved. The wind rattles empty fronds, one last whisper from the hunters. A farm trick had broken Japan's deadliest hunters. Tarawa's sand cooled under a reluctant dawn, the lagoon lapping at the wreckage like a tide washing sins. By D+7, November 27, 1943, the atoll fell silent. 400 Japanese dead, their fortress cracked like eggshell. Marines tallied 1,109 lost, a butcher's bill etched in dog tags and after-action reports. But in the ledgers of innovation, a footnote flickered. Decoy tactic, PFC Holland, 2nd Mardiv, sniper casualties reduced 67% in contested sectors. No fanfare, no dispatches to stars and stripes, just a mimeographed memo, buried in Quantico's files, yellowing beside maps of forgotten atolls. Marcus Holland shipped out on the USS George Clymer, deck awash with seasick ghosts. The squad scattered, Russo to a hospital ship for shrapnel in his calf, Bennett to a desk job stateside, his arm a puckered scar like a question mark. Carpenter stayed in the Corps, chasing kills from Saipan to Okinawa, his Springfield whispering Holland's name in every zeroed shot. Parker, promoted, penned the tactic into FM 2175, scout and patrol. Helmets on sticks etched in ink, employ non-vital silhouettes to elicit response. But Marcus, he faded quiet as chaff in the wind. No V-mail boasts, no baroom yarns. The farm called Elias's acres leased to neighbors, wheat stubborn but untended. He mustered out in 45, Silver Star for meritorious service pinned absentia, forwarded to Selena like junk mail. The envelope sat unopened on the mantel, gathering dust beside Pa's old slingshot. The Pacific drank the trick whole. Saipan, June 44. 2nd Marines rig bamboo ghosts draw 23 snipers into the open, casualties halved, advance doubled. Tinian's cane fields, helmets swaying in trade winds, fooling gillied marksmen, till Thompson's reaped the reveal. Iwo Jima's black ash, decoys on volcanic crutches, saving a platoon from Sulphur Island's shadows. By war's end, Corps tallies 143 lives traced to the wire. Men who crested ridges, stormed beaches, fathered sons because a Kansas kid twitched tin. Doctrine locked it. Boot camp drills, Holland lifts, cadets snickering at the name till the pings sank in. Marcus plowed under it all. Back in Salina, 46, 160 acres, John Deere coughing to life, the prairie vast and indifferent. No parades. VE Day crowds swelled the square, but he worked the binder, chaff-stinging eyes. Letters came. Carpenter's scrawl from Guam, your ghosts got me through. Owe you eternal. Parker's formal, tactic credited in OPM report. Proud, son. Russo's postcard, Brooklyn's cold without your stupid hats. Visit. Bennett, a book, Atoll Shadows dedicated to the farm boy who mapped the unseen. He burned them one by one in the barrel behind the barn. Ain't maps. Ain't ghosts, just wheat. Nights, the wind rattled the eaves like fronds in a grove, pulling him back. The ping echoing metallic in dreams. Hayes's laugh cut short, Tanaka's body thumping unseen. Calluses reformed, not from rifles but reins and rakes. He married late, 52 to Clara, the postmistress's widow, quiet as he, with eyes like lagoon blue. No kids, the war took that tally too. Just the fields, endless amber waves, crows wheeling cautious now as if remembering. Decades turned like seasons. Korea echoed Tarawa's lessons, helmets on Han River banks drawing gooks from burrows, Vietnam's jungles, wire tactics in MACV briefs, saving grunts in Ia Drang. Even peacetime, Quantico instructors barking, raise the bait, spot the flash. But Holland, a shadow farmer, combined rumbling through harvest, radio tuned to ball games, not newsreels. Clara knew fragments, whispered once after a storm, you twitch and sleep, Marcus, like raisin something. He shrugged, handed her coffee. Twitchin' gets you shot. The Corps forgot slower. 68, a footnote in Leatherneck Mag, Tarawa's unsung decoy dawn. No photo, just PFC Holland, innovator. A vet from Tinian wrote, your trick pulled me off that beach, lived to see my boy graduate. Marcus read it at the kitchen table, newsprint blurring. Folded it away. Lived, that's enough. Clara went first. 79, quiet pneumonia, buried under Kansas oaks. He tended her plot like a furrow, weeding silent. The farm shrank, tractors modern, sons of neighbors leasing rows. By 85, arthritis bent his hands, the ones that reeled cords through coral. He sat porches now, whittling sticks into vague rifles, crows perched bold on the fence. World changed. We didn't. Innovation's curse. It outlives the innovator, anonymous as roots under soil. Holland's wire wove into marine blood, Peleliu to Fallujah, helmets evolving to drones, but the ping eternal. Casualties dropped 67% at Tarawa, 40% in the Marianas, a ripple saving thousands. Brass cited it in war games, West Point case studies, improvisation under fire, the Holland paradigm. Yet the man? No bust in the hall, no chapter inspector's tomes. Just a faded discharge in a cigar box, beside Pa's slingshot. Winter '03, the cough started, deep as lagoon silt. Docs and Salina poked, prodded, lungs scarred from cordite, they said. Tarawa's gift, he muttered, waving them off. Hospice came home, bed by the window overlooking amber stubble. No visitors. Russo gone 92, heart attack mid-brick stoop. Bennett 97, cancer from that arm graze. Carpenter last '01, sniper's irony. Bar fight in Austin, bottle to the temple. Parker. Vietnam briefings wore him thin, suicide 72. Marcus lingered, 6 months of shallow breaths, fields mocking with their silence. Ghosts all round now. He told no tales. Not to the nurse, not the pastor. Just stared at the slingshot, thumb tracing its curve. Give him a chase, Pa said. Chased mine clear to here. March 15, 2004. Dawn breaks cold over Salina, frost glazing the wheat stubs. The pastor arrives early, Bible tucked under arm. Quiet service, Mr. Holland? Marcus nods, voice a rasp. Porch, fields can hear. No pallbearers, 2 orderlies suffice. The plot waits beside Clara's, sod fresh, marker simple. Marcus alias Holland, 1921-2004, Semper Fi. The handful gather, pastor, nurse, a neighbor with tractor keys. Wind hisses through the oaks, rattling like palm fronds a world away. Eulogy short, farmer, marine, quiet man. As they lower the pine box, gravel crunching under boots, a rumble grows, engines, low and purposeful. Headlights pierce the mist, 3 Humvees, olive drab, pulling up the drive. Doors swing. Out step 4 Marines, crisp blues, covers tucked, chests heavy with fruit salad. Youngest maybe 25, oldest pushing 50. They halt at the grave's edge, saluting crisp as a Garand bolt. The pastor falters mid-prayer. Neighbor gapes. The nurse whispers, "Who?" The eldest colonel, silver eagles glinting, steps forward, voice steady as parade ground. Box in hand, bronze, etched with anchors. Colonel, to the grave, formal but cracked. Private First Class Marcus Holland, 2nd Marine Division. On behalf of the Corps, thank you. Your wire saved my father on Tinian. This one's grandfather at Iwo. That kid there, his uncle in Nam. And me, Tarawa vet, pulled from a foxhole 'cause your decoys drew the fire. He places the box, metal spilling. Bronze star delayed, purple heart cluster. A custom engraving, ghost maker, 143 souls. The others murmur amends, eyes wet but locked. One pulls a helmet, vintage M1, dented like Marcus's, raises it slow on a stick whittled from oak. Twitch. Wind catches the straps, fluttering faint. Young Marine, soft, to the wind. Semper Fi, sir, we teach it still. Holland lifts. Silence falls, heavy as unshed rain. The wind rattles the helmet, a final ping in the ether. They salute again, turn to the house, Clara's quilt on the rail, slingshot in the window. Colonel lingers, traces the marker. Forgotten? Nah, just waiting for the right ghosts. They drive off, dust trailing like smoke from a slot. Pastor resumes, voice hushed. Neighbor shakes his head. Nurse dabs eyes. The grave settles, earth embracing tin and bone. Marcus Holland returned to wheat and silence, his trick a seed scattered on distant shores. No medals worn, no tales told. War buries its quiet heroes under calloused hands and dust. But stories? They dig them up. Brilliance doesn't always wear rank. Sometimes it wears dust in calloused hands. A farm boy's twitch saved 143 Marines, turned phantoms to prey, reshaped doctrine from foxholes to textbooks. At history, that fickle reaper overlooked the name. He saved 143 Marines with a stupid helmet trick, and history never knew his name. Subscribe if you believe forgotten heroes deserve their stories told.